Good afternoon. I'm Professor Papalambros, Chair of ISD, Integrative Systems and Design, and I have the pleasure to welcome you today in this little ceremony we have to honor our graduates and to thank all of you around our graduates for all the support you have provided to them all these years. It's usually a beautiful spring day this time. It's a beautiful day, not quite spring, we're not sure, but this is Michigan. And those of you who are not from Michigan, this is very unusual. We usually have about, 85 degrees this time of year. And, anyway, we have a joke in Michigan, if we didn't talk about the weather, what would we talk about? The graduates are the reason we're all here today. And before we sort of proceed to talk about them, I would like to recognize those of you who are here for the graduates, and you've been here with them for a long time. So I'd like to ask those of you who are parents, siblings, significant others, partners, to just stand up for a minute. And the graduates, please recognize them. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just a couple of words about ISD. ISD, this division of Integrative Systems and Design, was established roughly 5 years ago, but the programs it comprises, some of them have been around for as much as 20, 25 years in automotive manufacturing engineering. We also have programs maybe 15 years ago called GAME, Global Automotive and Manufacturing Engineering. We have the Energy Systems Engineering, as well as two other programs, more recent. One is the Design Science Program, that's about 10 years old, and the Systems Engineering and Design degree, which is about 3 years old. So the question is, what's special about these programs? Well, what's special is that the intent of these programs is really to build, if you like, the breadth on a foundation of depth that these students gain as undergraduates. So we espouse this sort of T-shaped individual you might have seen sometimes, right? Which, of course, if you're an engineer, you think it's unstable, but has a very strong foundation. So, their undergraduate degrees, they got this part, and we're providing this part. So this part aims to integrate knowledge from different traditional disciplines towards a particular field. At the same time, we also try to give them a sense of how the world works out there. A bit sense of, we can call it business sense, we can call it leadership. In the end of the day, it's really to give some idea of how things are going to be out there when they start working and trying to implement the knowledge they have. So all the programs, for example, include a capstone experience, which is typical for the undergraduate programs, but not for graduate programs. So this practicum or capstone experience is really an important part of the education that we try to offer to our students. So with this, I'd like to again thank you all for being here, to welcome you, and to sort of start our program. And to do that, I'd like to call upon Professor Matt Reed. Come on. We're really informal here. So Professor Reed is Director of Design Science Program, and he volunteered, or we volunteer him to give some remarks sort of representing the faculty view of our students.
All right, thank you. Well, welcome everyone. This is terrific to be here at this this fun celebration. As Pano said, I'm the current acting director of the Design Science Program within ISD. What am I acting? When am I acting? As of July, though, it's been announced, I'll be the program chair. So I'm looking forward to 3 more years doing this. But it's been quite an experience for me to be welcomed into this ISD family over the last year. I have a research background, and so coming into this environment has been, well, it's been very exciting. Learned a lot. Fortunately, I've had tremendous interactions with the staff here. ISD has some of the best staff around, I have to say, who have made this job really easy. I particularly want to recognize Gail Carr, who's worked with us in, Gail's been a tremendous help to me this year, and I also want to thank the design science students who have been bearing with me as I do this. I'm a Michigan lifer. I've been here basically since undergrad. I studied with some outstanding faculty as an undergrad.
How many years?
I won't do that, and ended up going to grad school here, and I've been a research faculty member at the Transportation Research Institute. I've been involved with design science really since the inception, I'd say, but this has been my first opportunity to really engage with the program. I have to say, one of the main observations from my engagement with ISD is the excitement and motivation of the students. The ISD has a tremendously engaged and motivating student body. They bring the energy, and the faculty feed off that energy. So it's been very exciting. As I was thinking about this gathering today, I was thinking about this systems and design. So what do we really mean by that? And we spend a lot of time talking about interfaces. Systems have interfaces between mechanical components and electronic components and so on. But as most of you know, the most important interfaces are between people, between the connections that people develop between each other. And I have to say, those of you who are graduating, you've created some very strong links with Michigan and with the program. And I think as you go away and do the great things that we know you're going to do, I hope you let those connections pull you back, because we want to make sure that we don't lose touch with you, and that you know that you're always going to be part of Michigan and the ISD community. So thanks for being part of the celebration today.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you all the other faculty that are here today celebrating our graduates. Now I'd like to call upon a couple of students, graduates, who can share their thoughts about their experiences here, and maybe other experiences. So first I'd like to call upon Beth Ann Less, who's a Master of Engineering graduate in Manufacturing Engineering.
Thank you. All right, good afternoon to all of the parents, family members, friends, faculty, staff, and of course graduates that are here today to celebrate. To all of the graduates, take a deep breath, smile, and congratulate yourself on the huge milestone that you've accomplished. We made it. And family and friends of graduates, smile, because all of the stressed out calls from your graduates are now over. When Adita and I met to discuss our talking points for the speeches today, we both agreed that we wanted them to be engaging and funny. So if you didn't laugh at that, then we're in trouble. I want to start out with thanking everyone involved in putting together such a wonderful ceremony today. Thank you to all of the parents and family that traveled from near and far to celebrate with us. And thank you to all of the professors, advisors, and mentors that have made the ISD program so exceptional. I graduated last year with a degree in mechanical engineering here at Michigan. Go Blue. I was all set to begin a full-time job in Minnesota until I learned about the Masters of Engineering and Manufacturing degree program. This degree was everything that I was looking for: a flexible curriculum that allowed me to dive into my interest in manufacturing design, a combination of both business and engineering courses, and a dedicated community of students and professors which surrounded me with unlimited learning opportunities. This master's program was just too good to pass up. The only hurdle was convincing my parents that it was just one more year, Mom and Dad, I promise. One of the most special parts about the ISD community is its diversity. For those of you who may not be familiar with the ISD program, there are six majors in which more than 400 students were enrolled last year. Every class stresses the importance of interdisciplinary work and collaboration. Additionally, most classes are offered on campus as well as online, so students can participate in discussions in real time and complete these degrees from anywhere in the world. I've been surrounded by students of all backgrounds, those that work in industry, international students, MBA students, young and old. And I have entered every connection with the desire to learn as much as I could from every student's perspective. I've learned how to be a better communicator across cultural differences and have formed an appreciation for the importance of cross-functional teams. I am thankful for the level of dedication that all of my professors have given to promoting student success and learning, and I appreciate the real-world emphasis that each class has taken on. In ISD, we have been taught to use this diversity to our advantage by learning from each other and helping each other out. One of the most memorable courses that I took this year was a business course called Human Behavior and Organization. The focus of the course was on building organizations around the fact that people perform better when they are in positive environments. We did an exercise in this class called the reciprocity ring. Every student wrote down something that they needed help with. Requests ranged from, I'm stuck on a project at work and need to consult a high-performance plastic molding specialist, to, I really want to get an internship at Monsanto, to even, I'm looking to buy a house and need a reputable realtor. Each request was announced to the class, and everyone wrote down any way that they could possibly help fulfill that request. At the end, multiple connections were made in every single student's request, despite how obscure or specific was answered. The purpose of this exercise was to demonstrate how each of us has connections, resources, and a willingness to help. All it takes is reaching out and asking for it. This is a valuable lesson that all of us should remember throughout our careers and even our personal lives. I've learned to always take the opportunity to network and be open to meeting others, because you never know when you could meet a stranger that just changes your day. Another quick story before I close. One morning about 2 years ago, I was sitting in the lobby of the Duderstadt Library working on homework. I had my headphones in, my head was down, and I was intently focused on my work. Out of my peripheral vision, I could tell that an older gentleman that I didn't recognize was standing next to my table looking over my shoulder. So I took a break and started talking to him. He asked me about my degree, my interests, and my future plans. I told him I was studying to be a mechanical engineer with a specific focus in manufacturing design. We wished each other a good rest of the day, and he went on his way. I didn't think much more about the encounter after that, other than he was a friendly guy who wasn't afraid to start up a conversation with someone, even if they had their headphones in. But I later found out that this man's lifelong best friend was the CEO of a manufacturing company in Plymouth, Michigan. He told his friend about me, and shortly after that, I received an invitation to go on a tour of his plant. I maintained the relationship, and 2 years later, I reached out and ended up working with this company to complete my manufacturing capstone project this semester. I could have very easily dismissed this stranger and gone back to work, but I took the time to talk to him, and we ended up forming a mutually beneficial relationship. Throughout our lives, there will be scenarios like this one that seem random, but I would advise you to always take a chance and follow through with those opportunities. It wouldn't be a graduation speech without a few words of advice. Stay tenacious. I don't need to motivate you. You wouldn't be here today if you didn't have motivation. But remember the huge responsibility that is bestowed upon you as a University of Michigan engineering graduate. We are entering the ranks of over 500,000 Michigan alumni who have gone on to do spectacular things. Do your work with pride, lift and empower your peers, and most of all, enjoy every opportunity in life. Best of luck wherever your plans lead you after graduation, and as always, go blue.
Thank you, Beth Ann. Great words of wisdom. So now I'd like to call upon Aditya Prakash Singh to also share some of his thoughts.
Thank you, Professor. And please excuse me, I'm not very good at memorizing stuff. So, hello everyone, and a warm good afternoon to everyone who's present over here. My name is Aditya Prakash Singh, and I'm a master in automotive engineering. My fellow Wolverines, we have finally made it. I still find it hard to believe that we are all sitting over here celebrating this once-in-a-lifetime moment. Time sure flies. I really feel like it was yesterday when I was packing my bag to leave for USA to begin a whole new phase in my life. I was obviously really nervous about moving to a whole new country where I did not know anyone. But deep down in my heart, I somehow knew that I was making the right choice by following my dreams. And that led me to the University of Michigan, a whole nother world in itself. I initially thought that I'm coming to this awesome university just to learn about the things that I really like, and those are cars, by the way. But it's after coming over here that I realized that to succeed, developing one's personality is almost as important as being technically sound. Interacting in a diverse environment like the one over here has taught me to respect everyone's cultural backgrounds and learn from each other's differences. I'm especially really thankful to the faculty and staff who were always here to answer all our questions, no matter how weird or stupid they were. And Beth has already covered most of the points stating how ISD works and how does it help all the students who come in here. So I'm not going to bore you with all those points over again. And I'm definitely not an inspirational speaker, and I'm not going to give you a career advice because what most people call a job started like 2 weeks ago for me. But I'm definitely going to share a few lessons that I've learned throughout my journey over here, back in India. So please bear with me. 1, time management. As the wise men have said, either you run the day or the day runs you. It's very important to know what are you going to do with the rest of your day and when exactly are you going to be doing everything that you want to. Every student sitting here would agree to have spent countless and sleepless nights in the library. There were times when I slept for 15 hours in 5 to 6 days combined. And that made me realize the importance of managing time. Everyone in this world has got 24 hours, but it's up to you, how do you want to use that time? Don't be busy, be productive. 2, make time for yourself. We are not here just to sit on our bums, stare hard into the MATLAB scripts, and make them work. I understand we are here to excel in our field of interest, but let's not forget, winning is just half of it. The other half is having fun. We are given breaks for a reason. Use them. Get out of the library, make new friends, see new places, and when you're back, you will be motivated to work even more. 3, exercise. Jog, play, work out, do yoga, whatever. Take care of your body. You will need it. I'm sure every one of us present over here will do pretty good for ourselves, but this long, luxurious, and busy life ahead of us will end up making us stressed and depressed. Do something to let out your frustration when you're not able to get a piece of code working, else you will be overwhelmed with your existential angst. 4, be compassionate, be humble. Remember, it's not only about you, it's never about you. You are not the only one behind your success. It's the painstaking hard work of your teachers and innumerable sacrifices of your parents that has brought you to the position that you hold. Never try to lowball anyone, because the sure thing about time is that it changes. Respect people with less power than you. Try to help others. Try to learn from others. Empathy is intuitive, but it's also something that can be worked upon intellectually. 5, look at the world with a broader view. It's really important to have an opinion, but that doesn't mean you make one out of thin air and then argue meaninglessly trying to prove it right, just like most of the iPhone users do. Try to construct an opinion after careful consideration and listening to people who oppose it. And even after that, constantly examine your thought process. And if you find logic and reason in other person's argument, do not shy away from accepting it. It will not only make you more knowledgeable, but it will also make you more humble in long run. 6, and I promise this is the last one. This is coming from my most recent and one of the most stressful incidents in my life so far. Every solution has a problem. Doesn't matter if it's a piece of code or seemingly large problem in your life. Every time I found my life is foobar, for those of you who don't know what foobar is, it stands for fouled up beyond any recognition. So every time I found my life is foobar, all I needed to do was to bring down my anxiety by a couple million notches down and think peacefully. And almost every time the answer was pretty simple. It was just the negative thoughts that were shadowing it. Recently, I was offered a job by a company, and I was about to join it. And like 1 week before I was going to join, I found out that the name on my employment authorization document was incorrect. And that was the most stressful moment in my life. But the faculty present in University of Michigan has helped me a lot through this really bad phase of time. And as I said, the solution was pretty simple. I just needed to calm down my anxiety. So that was it on the life lessons. And I would like to end by saying the University of Michigan has given me a lot of great memories, from remarkable football matches, especially against Buckeyes and Spartans, to a wide variety of cultural events, from guest lectures by leaders in industry and academy, to late-night project discussions in library. I'm leaving this place with a lot more than what I came here with. Proud to be from Michigan, proud to be a Wolverine for life. Go Blue!
You know, I'm listening to you two, and I'm thinking, now talking to the parents, how many times we kind of say these things to our kids, and they don't listen to us. So I have an idea. We're videotaping. We also have your text. Do you mind if we kind of use you for, like, for some materials on their website? Anyway, seriously, you did a great job, and I think it's great that it comes from you rather than sort of us professors keep preaching and lecturing. Thank you very much. So I'd like to move to the next section of our program. We'll recognize some of our students and faculty with awards. Before I do that, though, I want to pick up on a theme that both of you mentioned, and this is the importance in ISD of having a great group of staff that supports you guys, you the students, and us professors throughout the entire year of your years of your studies. So there's quite a few of you here. Staff, would you mind kind of stepping forward? Don't hide. And get up, please. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So now I'd like to present at least a couple of awards that are directly related to ISD activities. And very happily, the first one is Beth Ann Les, who has been awarded the ISD Leadership Award for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I got one. They want us there orchestrated. You want it here, right? Sorry, guys, but this goes to the website. So the next award goes to a team that works on what we talked about, these capstone projects. I don't think any of the awardees are actually here, but I would like to recognize them. The project was actually something that was conducted on site, at least partially on site at FCA. That's an automotive company, right? Fiat Chrysler Automotive. The title of the project is Design for Manufacturability in Stamping Technology and Powertrain Machining. So it's pretty sort of real engineering work. I want to recognize individuals in part because myself being of Greek descent and having a name that sometimes is not easy to pronounce, I practice those names, so I want to take advantage of that, and I stand corrected. So the first student is Agarsa Murari Muthukanampiran. Did I get this right? Yes, yes. Thank you. Sanket Chudari, Dion Roger, and Ajit Shetty. So in absentia, I'd like to congratulate them. The other award I would like to recognize here is listed at the end of your booklet, and it's the faculty award. So I'd like to call Professor Sulio Linets for the, when I get this. So Sulio is recognized with the ISD Distinguished Faculty Award for this year. He's a professor in chemical engineering, but he's also the director of our energy systems engineering program. He's been teaching courses for many years with great success. He's also put his sort of stamp, so to speak, on the program over the past, how many years, Julio?
8 years.
8 years, yes. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now I'd like to proceed with recognizing the graduates from different programs, and I'd like to start with the Jim, the graduates in the automotive engineering program. Those of you here, would you please stand? Jim Frodenberg, Professor Frodenberg is the program director. Well, they're all working. Yeah, they're all working, so give them a hand.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, I'd like to recognize the graduates of the Design Science program, Masters and PhDs. Could you please stand? And Professor Reed, could you just come up here so you can be recognized also again? Professor Bry is not here today. So, graduates, please stand. Thank you. Now, Sulio, you got to come back here. These are recognizing the graduates of the Energy Systems Engineering program. Do you have any graduates here today? We do. Right. Congratulations. Thank you. Next, we have the graduates of the Global Automotive and Manufacturing Engineering. Professor Dingsha Dong is here, but is not here. But what happened to Professor Albert Shi? He's gone? Okay, he was the previous director of the program. Anyway, game students, graduates, could you please stand if you're here? Well, so one of the things I should mention about our students is at least half of them are actually students that get their degrees online. So they've been working in different parts of the world, the state, the country, and the world. So if they're not here today, it's because they've actually never been here. And it's kind of unusual and a challenge from the side of the instructors, how to blend an audience that includes students that are physically here and students that are not. I think we're doing a pretty good job, but it is a challenge that I think we'll increasingly see in education in general, because that's sort of where things are going. And in some ways, we're sort of defining some paths of how to do this from an educational, pedagogical way in a better way than what we've been used to, just teaching everybody here and talking to them, which is an interesting challenge. But anyway, I wanted to explain why a lot of the students are not here today. The other one, of course, is because they have jobs already and they're on to their lives. Let me now recognize the graduates in manufacturing engineering. Yeah. Thank you. And finally, I'd like to recognize the graduates in systems engineering design. Professor Bordley is the director. And where are the rest of you? He's very enthusiastic. This is a magic. Can you explain?
Yes. Beth Ann talked about how Michigan grads had special powers and special responsibilities, like Spider-Man, because we train superheroes. The V is the source, I think, of our power. At the top of the V, we hear, the complaints, the screams, the problems of the world. We hear a world in distress. We plunge into our engineering network. We integrate the brain power of engineers from a wide variety of different professions. And then we come up with our solution that changes the world. We are world changers, and I'm very, very proud to know you all. Thank you.
I always get a kick when he does this. He really means it. So I want to stay here since we want to share this enthusiasm a little bit more. So the last thing on the program is to recognize our students who have been inducted in the Sigma Theta Mu. So would you say a few things about that?
Yes.
And introduce also.
I talked about V, right? V is a symbol of our systems engineering. V is for victory. Well, V is also for Mike Vinarsik, who founded this award ceremony for the cream of our superheroes, the best of our superheroes. And with that, I introduce Mike Vinarsik with a V.
Well, I get a fair amount of podium time at systems engineering events. I'm speaking next month at the No Magic World Symposium quite a bit, but I have to say that I've never been introduced quite like that before. So thank you, Bob. I realize this isn't 1842 and people don't want to sit around for 2 hours listening to people give a speech, but I do have a few words to say about Sigma Theta Mu and the society, and then we'll have a brief induction ceremony for those that we're honoring. So thank you for your patience with that. I will say this much. One of the great joys of my life is being surrounded by good people. And Sigma Theta Mu exists because of that. And I'd like to say that Bob stepped up and is the new incoming treasurer. So he is the second treasurer in the history of Sigma Theta Mu. Art Peister from George Mason was our founding treasurer, and Bob has stepped up and is now officially the treasurer of Sigma Theta Mu. So a brief round of applause for Bob for stepping forward. College societies are groups of men and women bound together by friendship and common interest into an organization of their own creation, whether honorary or social, whether national or local, and whether known by Greek letters or by English words, the general nature of their objectives are the same. The Professional Honor Society, however, is unique, since scholastic excellence combined with evidence of exemplary integrity, leadership, and initiative are the basic requirements for membership. The Professional Honor Society raises the standards of the profession with which it's associated. Furthermore, in addition to the comradeship among students with similar professional courses, the Professional Honor Society provides the opportunity for continued close lifetime association of those engaged ultimately in the same or closely related fields. These on-campus and lifetime associations among individuals with similar ambitions and professional objectives can lead to important new improvements in the well-being of our society, and you've heard several other speakers mention that today. Also, successful professionals must combine broad understanding with specific technical competence, and is one of the principal aims of Sigma Theta Mu to foster among its members an appreciation of related disciplines. Interdisciplinary knowledge is key to success in many fields, and we expect our members to be engaged in lifelong, broad, continued studies. And I look forward to seeing what each of them does in the future. Its members linked together by the bond of college fellowship and by common interest in the same profession, Sigma Theta Mu, the International Professional Systems Honor Society, was established by the founders to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the founding of the International Council on Systems Engineering, of which Bob and I are both expert systems engineering professionals. There's a whole certification track that NCOSE provides for those of us that practice the discipline as well. The name Sigma Theta Mu is drawn from 3 Greek words meaning systems, theory, and engineering. So to the native Greek speakers here, I apologize in advance for my pronunciation, but systemata, theoria, and mechaniki. The purposes of the society are to further the art and science of systems and systems engineering, to promote high social and moral culture in its members, and to aid in keeping its members more closely associated together so they may help each other in every ethical way, to further friendships and friendly relations among schools and colleges of systems and systems engineering, and to be an effective link among students, faculties, and related industrial organizations. The Constitution of Sigma Theta Mu establishes for its members the procedures that have been found necessary to achieve these objectives. It's the duty of each member of our society to become familiar with the Constitution and to strive to use it for the betterment of our profession and for society as a whole. Now it is for us a pleasant duty to honor you, who as students in systems engineering and the ISD program here at the University of Michigan, who have attained a record of high scholarship and evinced exemplary integrity, leadership, and initiative, and have been duly elected members of our society by the Michigan Beta chapter of Sigma Theta Mu at this university. The privilege of membership is our way of expressing our confidence in you. You should be proud to wear the insignia of Sigma Theta Mu, display your certificate of membership in an appropriate location, and forever strive to exemplify the ideals for which our society stands. The officers, board of trustees, and active members in our society in this chapter recognize the responsibility and importance that the membership entails, requires that you repeat the following obligations. So please rise, the inductees that are present here. I think there's 2 of you today. Okay, 1 of you. Oh, there we go. Thanks. So please repeat after me. I state your name. Do hereby of my own free will solemnly pledge that I will uphold the Constitution of the Society. I will constantly aspire to the ideals for which it stands. And that I will honor and treat without consideration and assist whenever and wherever possible my fellow members. I promise to hold above material gain the ideas and principles of scientific and engineering endeavors and to advance the well-being of the profession and humanity itself. Congratulations. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bob Bordley, who's going to say a few words about our inductees.
I am very proud of both Becky and Wayne. Wayne, at Booz Allen, we became very conscious of what happens to our veterans overseas. And Michigan actually has been recognized as a blessed place for veterans like Booz Allen. And so Wayne's work, he does 3D imaging, developing or helping develop orthotics, as well as doing a lot of work on organic implants, is very, very important. He truly is focused on helping humanity. And so Wayne, if you could stand again, but I really admire what you've done and what you're going to do in the future for all these people. Thank you. Becky, in my office, I have this great picture that Becky gave me, of a diesel on a cruise. And Becky has actually worked a lot as a calibrator for engines. She's done an awful lot of work at General Motors, on engine work and the like. Mike talked about certification. Well, Becky took the knowledge exam, which we gave at U of M, passed it, and actually not only is a member of Sigma Theta Mu, but she now is accredited as an Associate Systems Engineering Professional. Becky, will you stand up? She was a hard worker, and just as Mike and I are expert system engineering professionals, with Becky's work ethic, I think it's only a matter of time before I get replaced by Becky. Becky, thank you. It's been a privilege and an honor to know you.
I would like to make one final statement as we get ready to present the pins, but Sigma Theta Mu depends on society, or universities being willing to step up and charter a chapter, and the Michigan Beta chapter here at U of M is thriving. We have 8 other inductees besides these 2 that are distant and can't be here tonight, but this is one of our largest, strongest chapters, and I'd like to thank the university on behalf of the organization for making us a part of this awards presentation and for making it so key to the ISD program. So thank you very much.
Congratulations. You know, in the real places, they put dots at the bottom of the floor, but we haven't gotten there yet. All right, thank you and congratulations. Thank you, Bob and Mike. Well, I'd like now to, for one last time, congratulate all the graduates, wish you good luck, and go blue.